Hello everybody, I am Aaron the Gaming Godfather back with another random League of Legends video. And right where we pick off, of course, Gangplank falls. Sad as that is, but of course he kind of got a little bit too greedy trying to go for Mundo. And understandably, he saw an easy kill, but of course he was a little bit too close to that tower. But we're doing actually pretty darn well. My main goal during that, if you're wondering, was to try and get that rise down. Little bit too much off on Morgana, so I want to try and pin down that rise so he doesn't get as many kills anymore. It's a good idea to do that whenever you see it possible. If you see a champion feeding, whether on purpose or by accident, if you can kind of knock down the one that is being fed, do so. You'll help yourself out in the long run as well as your team. As you can see there, everything's kind of going back to normal. Morgana's still back in mid. Our Jax is going back to jungling. Trinimir's doing fine at bottom. Gangplank's going at top. Not too sure why he's come up here. I'd rather see him go down the bot and I could kind of hold him off here. Because I believe I'm going to go back here in a second. I might do a quick little golem run here, but I'm very low on mana, and personally I don't like wandering around, especially as a Amumu or any sort of tank with very, very low mana. But I know I'm the tank. I should not get a lot of kills as the tank. I should get more assists. Excuse me. Now as you can see here, I actually had a little bit of a hiccup in which I was actually trying to leave by having my gears on, so when I tried to turn them off, I kind of messed up the blue pill. I go back, and of course, I'm figuring out, Rise didn't hit me that hard, actually. I'm not too worried about magic damage. I'm more or less worried about Mundo hitting me, and of course, their Yi, if he ever comes back on, and of course, Blitz, if he ever gets a hold of me, that would be a bit of a problem. So I end up having to get armor, and of course I want to make sure to go back and get some wards. I do apologize if it seems like it's stuttering right around here. This is one of the reasons why I stopped using LOL replay. For some odd reason, it just likes to have these little hiccuping moments, and it just really screws up with the frame rate. I've stopped using it altogether. I will either record live, either via live stream, or just by turning fraps on while I'm playing a game. One way or the other. Until we have the official spectator mode come out. It's real sad because LOL replay to me used to be really great for recording videos just like this, and of course, for some reason, the more times it's updated, the worse it got. It was the weirdest problems. The more times it's patched, it seemed to have more problems. The health bar still being messed up, really laggy. Sometimes replays wouldn't even open up or wouldn't finish right, or there were a ton of problems. Here I know his bot needs some help, so of course come down. No fights in there. But I had a good feeling right around where it was in the bush. So of course I go for the bang toss, giving him a quick little stun, running myself in, and bringing out some pain, so Jax and Trinimir can join in for a little bit of a beatdown. Like I said before, I'm not too worried about Rise hurting too much. For some reason, he just wasn't doing a lot of damage. And here, even to Jax, who's not the toughest guy or toughest champion in all of League of Legends, hit him that hard with a single shot, or I think it was 2 shots actually. I apologize. So here, I told you before. This game I was getting really cocky. I don't really like to play that way, but with that one I decided I've got Trinimir right next to me. As long as I take the first few shots from the tower, we'll have Rise no problem. And of course we did. None of us died, and they end up losing both Malphite and Rise in the process. Every time I feel like I've gotten a little mini victory, I always go back. And if you're wondering what I'm building, of course you can tell by the armor and the Giant's Belt, I'm going for Sunfire, simply because that's going to allow me to be even tankier, but also keep my damage up. And of course, it's just a great addition item for Amumu to kind of complement his tiers. So that's a little bit on the side, though. Sorry for the boring walking part. I don't like to constantly edit out even the boring parts of these videos simply because I don't want anybody to accuse of maybe using different clips from different games, that kind of stuff. I would never do that because I don't know anybody on my team. I don't know anybody on the enemy team. So setting up 2 or 3 or any other games would be a little bit of a pain. As you can see there now, apparently their blitz tried going for Gangplank, but he either failed on purpose or he was kind of a bad blitz, because he tried obviously going for a grab on Gangplank, but instead he grabbed a minion. And of course he starts beating on me, but as you saw earlier, he somehow flashed like right next to me. I couldn't understand myself. But of course, Gangplank gets the kill. I wander away, and Gangplank takes down top tower. No problem at all. I be out, and of course, I have a little bit of fun with it, saying they probably hate me because every time I come in, bad things happen to them. As you can see there, I really like that particle effect. I think they could add a little bit more to it. It just looks like a bunch of orange butterflies flying around the person, since it's supposed to be technically a flaming cape, not a butterfly net. So that's neither here nor there, but I have my son, I've got my cape on, so now inflicting even more damage, having even more health, and being even tougher than I was before. The reason why, if you read the text, I was asking why anybody building starts. I was actually at the point, I'm just going to build that and make almost like an aura Amumu. Why? Why not? Starts is actually not that bad to be either a tank or fighter or of course even support. Simply because the aura effect that affects both your teammates and the enemy. And it doesn't help that it's good. It's life regen. As you can see here, I'm getting very, very cocky. Of course, I take on Mundo right there. I see Rise. Nobody's going to go for Rise. And apparently, Jack's going to go for it. Oddly enough. And I'm thinking nobody's going to keep committing to the fight. Zigzags in and out. It's because I'm not entirely sure that nobody's going to commit to it. So I decided I'm going to Jax and I kind of pay off for that in the end. Like I said, these normal queues, I've said before in previous videos, it's kind of a dangerous situation simply because you don't know who you're going with. As you can tell from the glitch there, sorry for the little bit of taking a little detour, but have the Superman Amumu glitch going on. It's always fun to kind of see that happen. But I was not too concerned with myself and Jax, of course, dying right there, simply because we were doing just fine and dandy, and you'll see down the road that we will. Not just because I already know, yes, I know the outcome of the video, and I'm not going to say one way or the other how it all turns out. I would never just only post up my winning videos. You will see down the road I will post up even losing videos, simply because maybe they may fall into my how-to series. See there, I know something bad happened. So I saw what happened to Gangplank there. Not doing that too well. Of course, but Jax. So of course I decided to have a little bit of fun and walk on it. I see Ryan. Stays away. There goes Mundo. Who's next? Looks like nobody right now. Wait, and see, that's my problem. I don't really want to commit because if I get caught into a bad situation, then my teammates don't benefit, and we end up actually helping the enemy team rather than helping ourselves. I wanted to make sure right here that, of course, everyone wants to do Dragon, but I wanted to make sure we were okay first, and I knew we had a Tryndamere, and we had a Gangplank, we had a Morgana, we had plenty of damage, but I was burning through mana pretty darn quickly. Sorry for the quick little laugh. I'm 5-1-6, and we're pretty much dominating in this game. It's still early on. It's still somewhat early on as far as fights been going on and everything, but we've been doing really well. I'm not trying to take any jungles, and of course, any of the kills you do see, I do take. Was not trying to steal them, nothing like that. I've played Amumu many times, both as a caster and as a tank. Oddly enough, I've heard some people say caster Amumu never works, and that's actually the exact opposite. The right way makes him less tank and more damage dealer, and somewhat of an off tank. So if you ever hear anybody say AP Amumu sucks or anything like that, just tell them to bugger off. It doesn't make any sense. Tank Amumu is, of course, works just fine, but of course, caster Amumu works just as good. As you can see there, I was going to go for blue because I thought Morgana or somebody else would take it, but then of course I see this little skirmish building up down here, and I decided to toss myself in here, quite literally actually, as you see. And I figure out some things were going to go down quite poorly, so I decided, let's see if we can change things up. Mundo is for some reason trying to slow me down. I don't know why. It was kind of interesting, and that's it. That is part 2 of this Amumu video. Stay tuned for part 3, and just follow the link in the description and enjoy what happens next.